Yo, what is up? What up, dude? Good times, CFATS, Devin, AP95, Old Habits, Matthew, Doge, Pound, what's up, Albert, Don, Aldo, Duke of Wall Street, Manny, Aldo, Mackie Mac, Professor Sade, CFATS, what's up? What's up, guys? AMC up 6.25% with the entire market. Man, the entire market's looking great right now, dude. We got SPY at 401.58. We just came back to retest resistance. We're on our way back up and potentially going to cross now, which is great. That's looking, I mean, it's just looking better and better for Amy, dude. Every freaking day. Loving it. What's up, man? KL Elf. Cool, what's up? Matt. All right. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's do some analysis. Let's get some analysis going. All right. So first things first. Let's do the market. Let's just talk about the market real quick and see what we got going on. So here is SPY. I'm on the, switching it up here. Going to go on the 3-hour. Pull up spots. Actually, no. I'm going to go on the daily, bro. I'm going to go on the daily. We've had this blue spot for a little while. It almost came back down to cross. You can see here, back pink. So it was going to cancel out here, but the average actually came back up, and now we are speeding our way back up to retest resistance once again. So things are looking great, man. I mean, this right here was a fake out within a macro fake out. So there's a macro fake out. We called it the mother of all bear traps, right? And that's what we got going on here. We have the mother of all bear traps with a little bear trap right here. Now a continuation to test resistance. And what I want to see is I want to see the 405 at least for us to call this at least a cross, because the thing that's going to happen here next is following volatility in the market. You're going to get a period where the market's going to be trading sideways. And normally when this happens, this is where we have all the meme stocks peak. So you have the ones that go last, typically AMC, GameStop. Those are the ones that go last on the meme stock list here. And then when we start to see the SPY pullback to retest back down on resistance, that is where we're going to see that pullback as well on AMC, on GameStop. And I think it's coming, man. I think we're going to see something like this. So now that we do have that breakout, because this is a breakout, and it's our 1, 2, 3, 4, freaking like 6th test right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. That's our 7th test at resistance. And this one is like a clear cross, dude. So I think we're going to see, 405, 410 maybe in the next couple of days. Trade sideways. And then, like I said, man, maybe a week or two we'll be up here just trading sideways before we bounce back down. I wouldn't be the one to jump in on puts right away. You got to give it some time, man. Volatility, when it kicks in, even in the short term here, puts, I mean, like, the bottom is definitely looking like it's in here, and that bullish rally is starting. So, man. All right, let's go back to Amy now. Amy. Okay. Man, the entire market, bro. Hella rallies. We called it a really good one at POI this week on NEO. Contracts are up like 50% right now. Looking really good. NEO doing it, man. All right, so right now we are on the 5-minute chart. We did cross resistance, short-term resistance at 580, and we're pushing our way back up. This massive pullback down, I guarantee you that on the volume profile here, heat map, you're going to see a little bit of a gap, which is good. This is what you want to see, because when it's clear, that's typically where you get a bullish, basically a push until you start seeing a little bit more saturation there. So here's the point of control, and then once we leave this zone, we're going to gravitate all the way back up here, and then this is where we're going to retest some kind of resistance before making our way back up and then fully crossing through. So I can see us hitting that like at least coming up to that $8 range this week if all does continue to play out, especially if we cross resistance. I think that's doable to set us up for next week. Let's see where we are in the cycle. Cycle. All right, here we go. All right, so from the blue pattern, which is right here, from this point on, we had an inverse cycle all the way up to this right here. So all of this was inverse. All right, that's where we're at right now. And then we had, here we go. So that's what we have right here. You can see in the cycle. And then this part started to play out identical. And then right at this point, we started to have an inverse cycle as well. Right on the 17th of January, we started to do an inverse cycle. So we're actually coming up to a very important micro POI here on AMC, and we're starting to see that volume kicking in. So maybe by the end of the day, we might see this pretty drastic push going into tomorrow. The markets are looking, with this push that we're about to get here next, if the market decides to open above that 405 going into 410 range, it's going to have a small pullback, and I think that's going to bring the entire market down a little bit, but it won't be like I don't think we're going to experience like a drastic pullback. So I think when, the market's going to prep for that, AMC is going to prep for that, so it's definitely going to rally before, if it does want to cross resistance, it's going to do it before we do have that pullback here. So, yo. All right, I was gonna talk about something, bro, and now I'm like losing my train of thought here. What is it? Okay, so let's update what we've been doing here with cycle analysis. Is we've been looking back, using spots to using spots here to help us track where we're at in the cycle. So I did this before. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take a screenshot here. Actually, I might have it. Yeah, I do have it. Here it is. We'll make it a lot easier. Good way to update where we're at. Okay, so this is the 2021 run-up we had on AMC. And we've been tracking this to see where we're at here in the cycle. We just got that blue cross, or the blue spot, and then following that blue spot down here, you did see a gap up. You saw a gap up, so it seems like we're right here in the sequence And yes, this is a possibility. We can do what happened in January. There's a lot of reasons why this is possible, and the entire market is basically around this phase in the cycle. So this is doable. It's likely, but it's also not a 100% thing, and that's that's just every time we go into a POI, that's just the way we have to treat it. And it's not calling, remember, it's not calling for direction, it's calling for volatility, and we're starting to see that volatility kick in, but it doesn't mean that we're going to see this happen. So yeah, everything looks promising, everything looks great, but it's not guaranteed. I want to make that clear. Okay, make that clear every single time. You got to be careful at the end of the day. Okay, so with that, obviously things are still looking great. I'm gonna keep this here so you guys can clearly see the structure of this. Not only do we have the spots lining up together, we also have the curve, the little average lining up, the pink, the blue, and the spots here. We also have the candles lining up very nicely. So all of these things are looking good. Ethereum Classic right now was very close to crossing resistance yesterday, but it did get rejected. There were a couple of different patterns we were tracking on why this was the case, but remember, with crypto, you tend to trade sideways a lot more, and there's a lot more volatility in the crypto market. So they're just constantly shaking people off here. You can clearly see it, and it drags for so much long. You have to be more patient for the crypto game, because these guys will just, you have this like moving average, you have this direction, and between that direction you just have zigzag, bro, all the way through. These guys are just constantly shaking people off, and that's kind of what we have going on right now. We haven't crossed resistance at 24 yet, and it seems like we're making our way back up, but we are I think we're like right around here in the cycle. So we are tracking about 3 days behind based on this setup here, not back here. Back here we're tracking about 8 days behind. But once you start to get into the actual formation here and it starts to play out, there are going to be periods where they do track exactly the same way. We saw that happen here on the dump. Okay, they both dumped at the same time, and then Ethereum Classic started to go up first. Okay, so we're still tracking Ethereum Classic. I still think there's a lot of correlation between the two, and it's normally going to be leading on this run up we have next. We might see a shift happen. If that is the case, then we'll just use AMC to track Ethereum Classic, but you will see them interchange between the two, back and forth. It's definitely a thing. All right, let's see some questions up in this. Rose, yes, I will update ARVL. There are certain patterns we're tracking right now on ARVL. So, yes, let's go ahead and do that. I'll show you guys the patterns. This is one of the ones I'm tracking right now. ARVL is actually one of the places we have right now on the Discord, and currently tracking a continuation here on ARVL. I think the momentum dried out a little bit, and that's typically when these guys take the opportunity to rally the stock back up. Now, this is a penny stock, so these are all very risky, as we've seen with GNS, and then also we have HBLZ. These guys are basically behind this short movement right now, and yes, they are mentioning AMC and GameStop, everything that's been going on. So it's been pretty good right now, and we're starting to see this pressure coming in from retail because of that. So that's always helpful. Yes, ARVL's part of that that sort of meme sector as well. They do have that. They do mention it, and you can see here on the formation we have. So this right here that we saw with ARVL actually happened very similarly to metamaterials. I'm going to pull the two up together to show you how the candle structure is looks on this pattern. So pull back 2 screens below. Okay, metamaterials. We're gonna go on the daily chart here. Now let's go on the 4-hour. Let's go on the 4-hour. So this is where I think we are in the sequence, our little sequence here. So both are on the 4-hour chart. You can see here it makes a hovering projector. The hovering projector, remember, does not come down to test a lower level of resistance. So it doesn't come back. This would be considered, or support. This would be considered that right here. It's very small, but obviously after this point you do have to use this trend line. But here we can see that this would be considered that level of support. It can come down, but at that point the projector does become a little bit more extended, and you can see something like that. That is possible. We are starting to see a bit of pressure coming down, but if it does start to climb back up very quickly, we should see that same pressure that we saw with metamaterials. And this stock has been like overly shorted like the rest. I mean, we have Nikola, we have ARVL, Mullen, all these guys have been shorted to the ground, and you know, at some point it is going to come back up. So unless it's like, you know, close to being delisted for being under a certain range, which at this point, you know, this thing did go up to $1 and then came back down. So I think it's in the clear for now. We're just waiting for some kind of catalyst, right? All right. Yeah, Devin from Discord, I gotta answer you, man, for sure. I did go over your question yesterday on stream. I'm not sure if you were here, but I did go over that question. I'll answer it here again. So you had said something about how crypto, how regulations are coming, which I agree with. Yeah, regulations will be coming, and that's basically this catalyst that I think is going to, it's going to scare some people and it's going to satisfy others. So I think it's a 50-50, but I just think regardless of that, I think enough people are scared about the whole FTX thing that they're not, this is why I'm saying, like, they're going to try and scare people, then rally crypto, which is exactly what happened with FTX. Like, FTX, everybody got like freaked out, they sold their crypto, and then crypto started to rally, right? That was the catalyst that they wanted to push out. So I think at some point they're gonna keep releasing this like bearish, you know, bullshit or whatever that is actually bullish in the long term, and then at that point, you know, crypto is going to be at a very high point, and then they're going to push out the narrative of buy, because that's literally the market cycle, right? You get, everything is just like inverse the way they push it out and stuff. But to your question, you're saying like what's going to happen with AMC and the meme stocks if they're no longer able to use crypto and liquidity as a way to use this and hedge for their position. I think, you know, I think they're going to find a way regardless. I think, again, I'm very skeptical about the media, what they push out. I think that this whole system here is very structured, is the big money is in charge at the end of the day. So one thing that I had said yesterday was like playing their game is the best thing anybody can do, and that's what I'm doing. It's just trying to crack that the system here, understand how big money is flowing through, and how they're manipulating this, how these patterns display that for us, and then play that game. Because I really don't think this is gonna change in the long term. I think they're gonna find new sort of loopholes, even if there are regulations passed. It's just the way the system is, man. That's just an opinion. It could change for the better. I mean, that's what we all hope for, but you definitely have to remain skeptical moving forward. For sure, for sure. Okay, let's go back here on Amy. Oh, you kind of went over everything else. Okay, it's still just hovering right over that 580 range. Pull up the intraday chart here and see what we got going on. All right, so we still need a little bit more development here on the pattern that is currently playing out, because I think we need something else here. I think this is it's very flat. There's not much going on. We're currently in a little parallel channel. You can see right here. Okay, we're looking like we're about to break back down. We are creating a short-term curve here on the pink curve on the 1 minute chart. If it does cross to the upside, that normally is a bullish indicator, but now it is starting to push back down with a lot of volume. So unless this gets rejected and we get some kind of V reversal coming back into the channel, this might be a short-term push back down. Nothing crazy. I still think that you have to look at it from like the sort of midterm macro trend here. It's coming back down, shake some people off, and then continue to come back up, kind of like this. All these little fake outs we get in the game. So I think it might be not a sideways trading day, but I think going into the end of the day, so in the next 2 hours, we might be setting up to start climbing back up. And I think this is just a little shakeout phase we're experiencing right now. Doge. Yeah, let's do Doge. Some with Doge, man. Yeah, so Doge right now. So first of all, like with crypto, you're gonna see a lot of crypto's rally. Now I think Doge and Shiba, like they're similar to AMC and GameStop in the sense that they're extremely manipulated, because there's so many retail behind the stock. So it's, they're gonna pump it, sure, but it's also going to dry out and trade sideways for a little bit after that volatility zone. And here, we had it in October, so we've had quite a few on the way back up. Right now, I don't see anything as far as a continuation. We did see it rally over the weekend a little bit. It was up like, with leverage, it's considered a rally because, 5% or higher is like a lot for leverage traders. But otherwise, I mean, it's just a 5% gain, right? But here we are seeing a potentially what could be an inverse head and shoulders pattern here. Little inverse head and shoulders. Is also the blue pattern on AMC. Sometimes that does develop into an arc, so you see something like this as well. So that's definitely at play. We are currently riding support here, so if it does come back down and bounce into this 80-cent range or 8-cent range, that would be a retest right here in the next couple of days. I'll pull up that pattern for you so you know which one I'm talking about, but a little blue pattern on Amy. Let's see which one's gonna be better. Yeah, let's do that one. It's my lovely little blue pattern here on Amy. We use this, by the way, for the SPY breakout that we just experienced in the market, was using the blue pattern. Okay. These patterns are very useful to track. I mean, look at how accurate this one is so far. The levels are being hit. It's tracking the sequence like almost perfectly, and this is showing us that we're coming back down to test resistance and bouncing off of resistance. So this to me is valid here in the short term. I'm on the 4-hour chart, so this would happen in probably a week. It's calling for a little bit of downside. if it does follow this pattern. It doesn't have to. Another way to track and see where you are, well, this is just one variation of that pattern. There's many more. You can track, let's see, on AMC, there's also this one here. This would be considered an inverse point of interest. You gotta flip it. And then you have this right here, which is also the blue pattern. You track AMC cycle, you will see that this pattern right here is just, it's the blue pattern but inverse, and it's in the same cycle. It's in the same cycle time frame. So, you know, these are considered, like, wherever you see like a drastic push to the upside or downside, those are considered volatility zones, and that is where I normally track either like a pretty large push to the upside or downside. So here it's looking to me like it definitely is following more of the just a traditional blue pattern, which means we might see some downside here in the next couple of days. And then, you know, this kind of goes with the theory that they're using liquidity to transfer over to the market. So whenever you see these meme stocks come back down, you're going to start to see a bunch of other stocks go up, or cryptos go up as these are coming down. So hope that answered your question. GME is also doing pretty good. GME is doing pretty good. Look at this, look at this. All right, so I want to show you guys something. The pattern scanner that we were playing with the other day spit out this projection on GameStop. And this is the projection right here. And look at what happened today. So see how it trades sideways? And then it just pops back up. Now we're coming back down to test resistance. And now this is calling for a little bit of downside on GameStop. On GameStop, right? Not on AMC. And it's calling for potentially a retest at 1750 before climbing back up. And basically creating this massive fake out and rallying here on the point of interest that we have on AMC. So this is like interesting because like it is playing out based on the macro pattern. We found, so on the pattern scanner, I've already found for the week, I once I do the analysis, everything that I look at here based on cycle analysis, I go to the pattern scanner and I basically use these patterns to confirm my bias, right? Like basically what I'm looking at, all the DD, everything, and it's gonna be a stronger. It just enforces the analysis you're doing at the end of the day. If the pattern is looking good, it's looking bullish or bearish, whatever it is, it just makes your argument stronger at that point. So here's a pattern on GameStop. Definitely looks like it's following this pattern here. It looks great. Ooh. Check to see what these contracts are at right now. Friggin' SPY contracts were down, and now they are freaking over the weekend 402 calls, man, going ham. Oh 402 at 71 cents right now, and I think it's still gonna. I think it's going higher. Once the SPY creates a setup, okay, watch. When the SPY creates this kind of a setup where there's no stop whatsoever here. All right, there's just it just keeps going up, man, for hours. I mean, that's what we got right now. Sure, it got rejected right here, but now we're retesting resistance once again. And if this breaks out, which it's likely it will, then it's probably going to go up to the 40, maybe 404 today or 405 even. Man, these are going to be pretty green. I hope so. But we are coming up to test a or break, completely break, because we already retested resistance, but now we're planning on breaking resistance. Got that going so far. Is that there, and then there's this one right here, full break. That one and that one. Break, retest, break this one, and yeah, we're definitely gonna come up to at least the 405, man. At least. Sketchy amount of volume. What you mean, man? What you mean? Are you concerned with the... Here, let's pull up the PFV real quick. What are you concerned with? The... Like low volume or lower volume? Compared to Friday's push? I mean, like, and we were looking at this as well. We were looking at the volume profile on the Discord here, and we are seeing this. Look at this gap here. Okay, there's a massive gap right around this range, and this is that test that we need to watch out for here, because it is considered resistance when there's but it's resistance, but if it breaks that range, you do normally have a pretty large gap or volatility push to either direction when you are coming near these pretty massive gaps on the volume profile. So you can see right back down here, that's resistant, or that support comes back down and completely just gets rejected and starts to rally. The same thing here. I think we're going to come down to a level of resistance, and then that's going to be our test. And it's likely that we are going to at least trade sideways for a little bit once we do come up there. But if we cross it, man, this thing can really just go up to, pretty crazy levels. So I guess we'll see. It's going to be our test. We're coming up to it, though. Ooh, 402.21. Man, SPY is looking good. Yes, let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's get it. SPY is looking great, man. And AMC is probably going to... well, you guys can't even see this. What's going on? Why can't you guys see this, bro? All right, I was like on a different chart here. Here we go. All right. So you guys didn't even see the chart, man. I was looking at. Okay, so here's the volume profile. I'll talk about it again. Here's the gap. And I was basically just saying that normally the way we see it work here with volume profile is these gaps act as support or resistance, and whenever they're crossed very quickly, so just like trend lines are crossed, when you break resistance or support, you do tend to fly or dump very quickly. It's just volatility. It's a volatility zone on on the X axis. The X, bro. The horizontal line right here. And the other one. So yeah, man. All right. Let's do a little bit of let's do a little bit on the market scanner. If you guys want me to scan some stocks, throw them down below. Dude, you guys were scanning some really dope stocks yesterday. Some dude brought up Carvana. I hadn't even done analysis on Carvana, and damn, bro. We found one. Like we're currently tracking this one. Where is it? Is it on AMC? I think it's on this one, Carvana. Like, this was scanned through the pattern scanner here. Let's go on the 3-day. So you can clearly see it. So this again was spit out using the pattern scanner. Trading View's like moving my shit. And it's up today. Carvana is up 12% today. After, like, dude, I was actually pretty blown because this thing has been shorted from 375 all the way down to like freaking like $3, dude. So yeah, obviously this is probably going to have a nice relief rally at least, or a continuation, the upside, or at least preparing to come back up for good. But we found this. This is sundial, the pattern that we found, and yeah, just throw some down below, man, so we can look at them. All right, let me pull it up real quick. Here we go. And bam. And let's take me away for a sec, cause. All right, here we go. Throw some stocks up in this. Let's get it. All right, we got Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond on the 15-minute. Let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Oh. Okay, ACET when 12:30. ACET. ACET. 12:30. That's what it's scanning for. Up until when though? 12:30. We're gonna grab the whole thing. I'll grab that much. Bed Bath & Beyond. When is it scanning it from? Okay, from 117, the 17th of January, which is right there. Here we go. Is that what it's scanning? Sometimes I don't like to line these up correctly. I'm making sure I want to line them up correctly. 12:30. Oh, 12:30. It's like this, dude. Unless I'm tripping. No, it's from here. Okay, here it is. That's what it's scanning for. It's actually scanning for a pretty big push, but this is just one pattern. So I wanna track more. I don't like that one that much. Wow. These are all calling for upside though. Look at this. Bro. ACET calling for upside. 15-minute time frame. We got ENVX also calling for upside. Very similar pattern structure. BNTX also calling for upside. Very similar pattern. Now I'm gonna take more. I want more data here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the 1 hour interval, 90 window size. So 90 data points is what you want here. Now we have a little bit more to work with. So we have a full structure of the pattern. Most of these are still calling for at least a little bit more upside. They don't have as much development. Let's do the 180. Okay, there we go. We're starting to see some of these work out a little bit more. I like this one, ITCI, and I also like EGY. These are both also calling for upside. Let's see what the daily is going to give us. Daily's a little finicky if you're looking at the short term. I will say the daily is only something to look at in the long term, and you only really want to track the daily with stocks that are not volatile. So like if they have a lot of volatility, anything on the daily chart, you can see that there's very little data on the way back down here. Like it's just one trend coming all the way down, and then you get that one spike, right? So I think it's important to really track at least these on the smaller time frames. 15-minute or even the 1 hour I think is okay. But yeah, anything above that, we're going to want to track SPY, for example. Like SPY on the daily chart, that's doable. Okay, here we got some patterns. Let's see. SPY on the 180. This is one that we're already tracking. We're tracking WTFC, and it's actually currently playing out. This is one of the most accurate ones I've found on SPY. Look at this. Look at how crazy this shit is, dude. I'll get to the ones here in a little bit, guys. Let me just put everything else here. Make sure you guys like the stream, bro. Make sure you guys slap the shit out of that button. Like, share that shit, bro, and slap that shit real quick. Yeah, we'll check Xella too. Okay, SPY. No, not on this one. Okay, here we go. There it is. Look at this. Look at this, bro. You know, and I'm on the 2 hour here. We were tracking the daily chart. Look at what happens when I go on the daily chart. Obviously, trading is going to move it from move it. We're used to that. But just look at this beauty right here. Tell me a more accurate pattern, bro. And this is why the daily is a very powerful tool to scan for on indices, on stocks that don't have a lot of volatility. These guys are you're going to find patterns that look very, very similar. Here, look, it's calling for that same breakout. It's calling for the breakout, and then right at this point where it comes up to this range, which it doesn't necessarily have to come up to the 420 range, but it can come down to even like 405, 410, curl back down, and then retest or resistance right here. And this is where we have that POI, so it can definitely bounce and start playing the sequence inverse. We could see that, but this is just insane to me. And I really like the structure of this pattern because this calls for just a massive fake out on the bear and the bull side. Imagine if the SPY just trades like this for a whole year. Like, we just trade in this freaking parallel channel, dude. Like, just to, like, bro, that's crazy, man. And then we break out. This is a accumulation right here, bro. And then bam, it's on to the rallies. Crazy, crazy, crazy setup. But yeah, I mean, this one is yeah. We'll keep it there. All right, we'll keep going on these patterns. Amy, Beyond and Neo, yes. So Neo we actually did, and Neo is currently tracking. Let's see if I have it on this one. I don't have it on this one. I have it on the POIs. All right, so here is Neo. And Neo this is why we had a POI actually this week, because I really like this pattern, and the option chain was just flooded. Everything was pointing in the right direction for this play right here. So just for everybody that's wondering how these are, a lot of the plays that are sent on the Discord, it's just the analysis is very specific. It's very unique in that we study the patterns, but then we also use everything else as far as like derivatives, the actual sector rotation. That's very important here, knowing when POIs happen on each individual sector, each individual stock. And we had this with Neo, and Neo is currently up 10% today, and I'm still expecting a greater push. I'm expecting a push first to 14, a small pullback, and then a continuation based on this pattern. It's very accurate. So I do like it. This is probably what we're going to see in the short term, at least a $17 range by mid-February based on this. Really, really good structure of a pattern. I will say for Beyond Meat, I know I was tracking a couple. Yeah, I was tracking. So this is one right here, which was a wedge. Now we are seeing a pushback, so it's actually going to be very important to track this one. So with Beyond Meat, yeah, this one is, ooh, it's looking good. Let's track it. Let's do it. Let's track it. So for Beyond Meat, I'm going to use the 1 hour. And I'm going to use the 180 time frame. I think that's going to give us the most accurate representation of the stock. Let's do... Ooh, wire looks great. Wire, this one. So they're pretty much all calling for a continuation here. You can kind of see the average too when you combine them all. I think the only one that I wouldn't use is AVEO because it has that gap. So with gaps, I'm not a huge fan of the ones that typically when you see the gap, that's either because it had some kind of split or maybe really good earnings and you just saw like it gap the next day. Since this is the daily chart or the hour chart, it's also going to show those values there. So I think this one might have been some kind of either like a split or yeah, something, man, because it just drastically changed in one bar. So I wouldn't use that one, but overall, it is calling for a pretty good push. You can see here, it's possible that it comes down based on this projection that it comes down to that like $13 range, and then it starts coming back up. But based on this, it's looking pretty healthy on the way back up. This is just one. Let's do the 90, 1 day 90 and see what we get here. Ooh. It's crazy how the UVXY is being like it's pulling the UV like the VIX, bro. That is crazy. It just shows, man, that the VIX, like a lot of stocks that you see have volatility track, and like meme stocks and stuff will show up the UVXY a lot, because it basically tracks the VIX, man. Basically tracks the VIX. Alrighty, so that's what we got here. Let's see, 15-minute now for Beyond Meat. So this is the micro chart, the 15-minute. And let's see, what are we doing? Whoa. What are we doing today, though, for... I'll pull up Beyond Meat and see how it's doing. Because this gets updated every day. So we don't want to see real-time data with this because it defeats the purpose. Like, we're not scanning minute, the minute chart or anything. We're scanning pretty large intervals here, and we want to see a full structure of that pattern and make that plan based on a projection here, the forecast. Just give us a little bit of a better representation of the pattern as a whole. And I think, so right now, based on what we have for Beyond Meat, YND, it is having a rally actually as we speak. So look at that. Oh wow. Okay, so I didn't even see this. So let's see. 45 1 hour. See what the 1 hour is giving us, because now I can definitely use one of these patterns to give us a better picture of what we can expect, because it's coming back up very quickly to test resistance. Yeah, so ignore my $13 projection on the what was it, the daily that was scanning for that? No, that was what was scanning for that. I want to see if any of the other ones were scanning for a larger push. Ooh, these are accurate as hell, man. What the fuck? Alright, so let's see. Alright, let's go on the daily. I'm going to go on the daily and on the 45. I think that one's going to give us something else. Nope. Yeah, so we got to update now. This is the thing about the pattern scanner, is once patterns develop and they change, right now, again, this doesn't have the data of the current, what Bed Bath or Beyond Meat is currently doing. So obviously it's going to scan for patterns that don't have that spike back up, which is, it's crucial to us getting the correct data here. So that's why you have to pay attention to the date here. It's 120, not 123. So once it runs the update and gives us that value here, now that it does have that drastic spike, then we're going to see completely different charts on the bottom. So I'll run an update as soon as we're done here, and I'll get back to you on the Discord, Amy. Okay, let's do Fubo. Fubo TV. All right, so Fubo is actually coming back up to test resistance. So this one is accurate. 9 is the one that's accurate right now. It's the one that's the most accurate. NUVL is also pretty accurate. Let's see what the 1 hour is giving us. I like this one. Actually, a lot of stocks are doing this right now. So we even had GameStop do it. And the projection we had for GameStop looked like this. So for Fubo, I would expect the same exact thing. If we take a look at this pattern, and you know what? I'm going to shrink this here so we can do a side-by-side. So let's shrink this. Let's put it over here somewhere. Can you guys still see that? I don't want to like completely take it away, but if you can see it a little bit, we'll kind of work with both charts here. Okay, so we're going to come back here. Let's go on Fubo. And you guys can kind of see that structure, right? You see how it comes back up here, and then it kind of trades sideways before coming down. This is exactly what we had for GameStop. So this one's accurate. This one actually played out on the projection. So looking good. On many different time frames, it also did that. So I like this one. Okay. Again, the daily chart, remember, is not going... You definitely have to zoom out on the daily chart for a macro projection. All right, so remember, not all stocks are going to be on this. It's just I have a select list that I chose. I have about 250 stocks that I like, that I track here, and some of those are going to be on the small market cap, but these are normally going to be more on like the trusted stocks sort of range on the spectrum, I guess you can say. But these are, yeah. So we're not going to have everything on here at some point. Yes, that's a work in progress, but remember, this is just it's a beta right now. It's not fully polished and completed yet. So this is why I kept saying, please, if you guys do have feedback, make sure you give me that feedback. All right, I would appreciate some feedback. AMC is, this is one of the ones that we were tracking, was SPL, and it's giving us a pretty nice forecast here, and then in the next couple of days, and we are currently playing this out. So I like this one. Let's track the 1 hour though, because this one already updated, or hasn't updated yet. Let's see. None of these have updated. What am I talking about? Yeah, I just want to see which ones are playing out. So this is just, we're like back testing right now. So these are projections that we had on Friday, right, on the 20th, and we're seeing if they're coming true or not. And so far, all of them are coming true. Beyond Meat was the only one that we haven't seen do that. Beyond Meat just kind of started to rally, and when it does that, remember, the program does have to update so that it can scan a new pattern here. So, but you can see here, all of these were calling for upside on AMC. Wow, this pattern is very accurate too. Calling for upside, but then it does start coming down a little bit. So, okay, many patterns. What am I using? This is it's a program that scans for patterns in the market, and it will spit out the highest correlation between the two. The distance. It's tracking for the distance between both patterns, and then giving us the correlation between them. So it's a really nice tool because it helps spot patterns that look the same. As we just saw with SPY on the daily chart, the 180. We're tracking this one right now. It's called WTCF. So if we go on SPY here, SPY is being rejected, but it's probably going to come back up in a little bit. Oh, wrong chart. Here we go, and then, bro, keep going on the wrong chart, man. There we go. So, oh, man, this keeps moving it. Damn it. Okay, so this is what it's tracking for. You can see it right up here on the chart, and this is the exact same pattern that we're tracking. And I just went ahead and pulled a little bit more on the pattern so we could see a full projection here. Doesn't have to follow it through. At some point, it is going to stop tracking, but so far this is tracking to a T. And I'm going to continue to track this until it stops. I think that's really how I treat patterns, man, because patterns do repeat themselves everywhere. Okay. So this is going to be the update for the day, guys. If you do want access to this, you do have to have a Patreon. Again, I do send out plays and stuff, Discord plays and everything. But I offer so many other things, like the pattern scanner. There are indicators, spots indicator, PFV, and copypat, which copypat is a very similar to the pattern scanner here, but it only scans the stock it's projecting, so it doesn't scan the entire market. All those things are things that I do offer on there, and we do put a lot of work and effort into those things to make sure that everybody has access, and it has, you know, these tools that are extremely useful, cycle tools that are very useful. So if you guys want to check it out, just make sure you click the link below, twe.com already. And I'll leave it there for you guys, okay? I will see you all later. I am going to go and update the Discord now, okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow and potentially go live. All right, bye-bye.